everybody, welcome back. And today I just have a fun video for you. And today I'm just talking about eyeshadow singles that I like using as highlighters. I think sometimes we get caught up in this idea that you can only use lipsticks for one thing, or you can only use blushes for one thing, or you can only use eyeshadows for one thing. When really, like, I love that Haley Wright says this. She's like, it's all just powder and paint. You use it for whatever you want. So that kind of inspired this video. So yeah, let's jump into it. So the first one I want to talk about is from the Milani Bella Eyes collection. I love these eyeshadows. I've used these eyeshadows for years as far as highlighters. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I bring them in to work with palettes as inner corner highlighters, and I generally like to, kind of coordinate inner corner highlights and my cheek highlight if I can. So these just really lend themselves. Plus, these they have such a wide array of colors and tones that I think if you have these in your collection, check them out and see what would work as a highlighter on your skin tone, because they're really just great little powder products. So the first one I want to talk about is number 30 Bella Diamond, and this is called actually a highlighter shimmer. And this is just a more stark white color. It's really gorgeous. These are going to be a little bit more of a subtle, just soft shimmer on the skin, kind of very translucent, and just going to give you the little bit of gleam and kind of that wet look to your skin, just very in a very subtle way. So that one is Bella Diamond. So definitely use this one more in the winter time and more when I have cool tone looks on my eyes. The next one I have is definitely more yellow toned, or so warm toned, and this is 28 Bella Chiffon. This is also designated as a highlighter shimmer, and these just feel so smooth. Now this one is going to be a little bit more metallic and a little bit more in your face, and this is absolutely gorgeous. Again, this tends to be more of a summertime one because it is definitely more of a gold tone, and you can see that as opposed to Bella Diamond, it definitely has more of a reflect in it, and it's going to be a little bit more high intensity. The last one I want to talk about is Bella Ivory, and this is actually a satin matte is what this formula is called, and this is more of a pinky tone. Now this one is going to be more like Bella Diamond in how it reflects on the cheeks. It's going to be a little bit more translucent when you blend it out. So you can see it's definitely more subtle on the skin. It barely even shows up. It's just giving a little bit of natural luminescence. And if you're dealing with aging skin or textured skin, really these more subtle highlighting formulas or formulations or powders are going to be your best friend, because you're going to get that look without it highlighting every little bump, wrinkle, crevice that you have. So again, another great little eyeshadow. I really like the Milani Bella Eyes. I think everybody got really excited about them when they first came out, and then they just kind of disappeared. Nobody talked about them anymore, but I still use them in my collection. I have decluttered a bunch, but there's a bunch that I still use. Another single that I want to talk about is also from the drugstore, and it's also an eyeshadow that I really enjoy from a line that I really enjoy, and it's from the Maybelline Expert Wear eyeshadows. Now these came out a couple years ago, and this is just one of my favorite shades. This one has got quite the dip in it. This one is called Soft Pearl, so it's number 10, and this is just a beautiful kind of classic white champagne. It's got a little bit of pink in it, so kind of a pearly champagne. Really beautiful. Again, it's going to be more like Bella Chiffon, where it's going to have a little bit more of a reflectiveness to it, a little bit more high impact shine, but again, it's really subtle. I just like these kind of subtle highlighters for day to day. I don't want, just crazy in your face highlighter every day when I'm at the office. And this one just lends itself so beautifully to that. It just reflects gorgeous. It's got a little bit of translucence to it, and just really enhances that kind of luminous, glowy effect. I just love this. So that is Soft Pearl from Maybelline. I really can't say a lot about these other than I just really like them as highlighters. The next one I have in my collection, which also has quite a dip in it, is the Dual Intensity eyeshadow from NARS, and this one is in Andromeda. Now the last two that I'm going to talk about are a little bit more in your face, but still not super crazy. And this one is definitely, it's got the same kind of texture as Soft Pearl and kind of the same level of reflectiveness and luminescence, but it is got a little bit more of a peachy pink tone to it. So just, again, we're just talking about different tones and slight differences here, but this is how I use them. So definitely use this with a little bit more of a warm look. I love this as an inner corner highlighter as well. I really don't use this as an eyeshadow at all. I use this as a highlighter, and it lives in my highlighter drawer. So gorgeous, very smooth, very beautiful, soft, luxurious texture on this. And that is the Dual Intensity eyeshadow in Andromeda. And the last one I want to talk about is the Metal Crush eyeshadow from Kat Von D in Thunderstruck. Guys, I know. I already had it. I know, but I'm going to use it, and it's in my collection, and I'm going to find a way to use it. So, you know, I don't believe in just throwing stuff out, or, you know, it's one thing to not support a brand anymore, but I don't believe in just throwing stuff out. If you don't want to use it, give it to somebody else, or, you know, find a way to make it work in your collection, and you know, just don't support the brand anymore. But that's a whole nother thing. We're not going to get into it. But I love this shadow as a highlighter. It's actually what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing it on my lid, inner corners, and along my cheekbones, nose, all, you know, wherever I usually put highlighter. And this is probably the most intense out of all of them. This is a beautiful kind of, it's one of those, I want to say like gold with a slight pinky shift to it. Definitely the most metallic out of all that I've talked about. Really beautiful. It's got a nice texture. It goes on beautifully on the skin despite feeling a little chunky when you swatch it, or looking a little chunky when you see it in the pan. But again, it's just another one of those beautifully textured powders that just goes on the skin beautifully. And I think the reason why all of these that I've talked about apply so beautifully to the skin is because when you have a good eyeshadow that's formulated well, it's going to lend itself to really flatter your eye, where, you know, most people have a lot of texture. They have, you know, especially if you're a little bit more mature. So if it's going to be the kind of formula that gives a little bit of shine and luminosity to the eyelid, which is a very delicate, you know, textured area, it's going to lend itself well to the cheeks, which is why I like to use all of these that I've talked about as highlighters. All right, guys, so those are just some eyeshadow singles that I consistently reach for as just my face highlighters. Again, it's just, you know, like Haley said, it's just powder and paint. So, you know, don't limit yourself. But I hope you found this interesting. Let me know, do you have any eyeshadow singles that you like to use as highlighters? Do you have lipsticks you like to use as eyeliners? Do you have blushes you like to use as eyeshadow? You know, it's just so, I think the more we find the versatility and utility in our makeup, the more we can use it and the more we enjoy it. And the, you know, part of the fun of makeup is just discovering new things and new ways of using things. And I think that's really what I'm trying to be about this year, is really just discovering my collection and having fun with it. So I hope this was interesting for you guys. Let me know what you think. I'm always interested to hear what you have to say. As always, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Have a rockin' week, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.